Hello again. Welcome to the third lab of Embedded System course. This is Sana Sabah, a lecturer from University of Information Technology and Communication. Welcome to the lab. In this lab, we will explain about the temperature humidity sensor. Also, we'll explain about the LCD connected to the Arduino. We will measure the temperature and we will display it on this LCD. So, keep watching. Humidity temperature sensor and LCD. In this lab, we will explain the temperature humidity sensor, how we connect it with Arduino, the LCD. It will be divided into four sections. The first part is explaining the libraries and the datasheet. And part 2, setting up the humidity temperature sensor. Part 3 will be setting the LCD with the Arduino. And the last part will be display the temperature and the humidity on the LCD. This is the first part. A sensor can be divided into two main categories, active sensor and passive sensor. Active sensor, we measure in voltage, an active sensor, current, response to the environment, can convert the non-electrical energy into electrical energy. Also, this sensor known as sensor or transducer. They convert from one form of energy to another form of energy, which is voltage. It often come with amplifier. Okay. The second type is the passive sensor. We measure resistance, conductance, impedance. For example, the humidity sensor, in which we measure the conductance. Libraries. Sometimes we in the previous lab we use some very basic simple sensor. For example, push button, photoresistor is very easy. We just connect it to the Arduino and we only use the one instruction, which is read from the analog pin, analog read. While their other sensor is much more complicated. As I said, maybe the active sensor is much more complicated. We need some work, very extra work on the programmer side. With the libraries, it make everything easier. There are software library come with the Arduino, some other library you can download it. So library is one of the reason why Arduino is so popular. They help you to use the Arduino. You don't worry about what hardware, how the sensor works. You only download the library and with the few instruction, few function, you can use the sensor. Very easy way. Also, not only the sensor library not make easier for the usage of sensor, also some devices inside the microcontroller, for example, memory. In my last project, I work with the IMU sensor, initial measurement unit. This sensor is very sensitive. It needs to be calibrated every time before you used it. The user can't every time, if he want to use the device, the user don't worry about the calibration. So as a programmer, when you design the device, you should calibrate the device and save the data of the calibration into the EEPROM of your device. The EEPROM is inside your Arduino, inside the AVR microcontroller. It's not easy for me, so how to program this EEPROM. I don't have to worry about how can I save the data on this EEPROM. I simply use two function, EEPROM write to save the data to specific address, and when I want to use the device, only EEPROM.read function is called, and I can use the calibration data. So with library, with EEPROM library, I don't worry about the hardware. The EEPROM is a non-volatile memory, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. For Atmega 328, we have 1024 byte built in on the chip. So you use it when you want to save some data and you want it still be there when the power is off. It's not only the memory or the devices inside the microcontroller. There are other complicated devices such as Wi-Fi, LCDs, as I said, the temperature humidity sensor. So you just call this library and you work with them. Rather than reading the datasheet, you could just use library. Library is simple function, predefined. You just have to call this function and it does all the work instead of you. That's the thing, the beautiful thing about using the Arduino. There are three methods for installing a library into Arduino. You should all know all the three methods, because each time you need to use a different method. The first method, download the library as a ZIP file and store in the computer. Open the Arduino. From Sketch, include library, add ZIP library, and just select the ZIP file. For example, we can see here in using this Arduino, you just as I said, from Sketch, from include library, ZIP, you just choose where you downloaded your library. For example, maybe in download, compressed, and you choose the library file. For example, this one, and click open, and the library will be, as I said, successfully added to your library. This is the first method. The second method, download the library. The second method, we will use it in temperature humidity sensor. We download the library ZIP file. We go to the file, extract the ZIP file from document Arduino, and we put it on library folder. As you see here, I will do this in front of you. You just download it. It will be here in the compressed file. When you downloaded the temperature humidity library, this is where the library exists. You extract the library. I already extracted. This is the extracted file. You open it. You take the library you want. This is the library I want. It's called this. I copy it. Okay. Then I go to document, to Arduino, to libraries, and I paste there. Yes, because it's already exists. This is the replace. This is the library. This is the second method. The final one, the final method is open the Arduino IDE. Sometimes there are a built-in library. The method 3, we will use it for LCD. We just open the IDE from Sketch, open the IDE from Sketch. We select include from tool, manage library. Okay, and we choose the library we want. For example, the LCD. This is the LCD library, and we click install. Okay, we just click the install, and the library is successfully added to our so from here, tool, not include library, tool, the method free from tool. Then manage library tool. This is tool manage library. Then we filter and we ask for our library and we click install. Sometimes we need to read datasheet. You, as an engineer, must know how to use datasheet. Datasheet are instruction manual for electronic component. They explain exactly what the component does. For example, if we want to know how the DHT11, this is the temperature humidity sensor, we want to know how it works, how we can use it, we downloaded it, the datasheet. The first page of the datasheet, every datasheet is a summary. This is the first page, is a summary for the feature, for some details, what the sensor does. As it says here, is a low-cost digital temperature humidity sensor and some information. Sometimes it include also a functional block. It include a functional block for this is a functional block. What the pin are, what the name of the pin, how they connected. For example, as you see, there are 4 pin. VCC, this is the data pin, the ground, and this is a non-connected pin. And it explains how it connected to your microcontroller. Sometimes it also include timing diagram. To include timing diagram for how the data should be sent. Well, you don't have to worry all about all these things. You just use library. But as an engineer, you must know how to read and use datasheet. Okay, this is the first part. Please, any question, please write it down. Thank you. I hope you find this lab is useful. Please, any question, any comment, please write it down and I will try to answer you as soon as I can. Thank you.